The man eating a handful of dark chocolate every single day had better sexual performance than the man who spent $200 a month on supplements. And a doctor proved it. Welcome back. If you're watching this, there's a good chance something has quietly shifted in your body, and nobody has given you a straight answer about why. Maybe your energy isn't what it used to be. Maybe your performance in the bedroom has dropped off a cliff. Maybe you've been told everything is normal for your age by a doctor who spent 8 minutes with you before writing a prescription you didn't ask for. Here's what they didn't tell you. Poor blood flow is behind almost every single symptom you've been brushing off. The fatigue, the brain fog, the cold hands and feet, the drop in sexual desire and performance. And the most alarming part? Most men have no idea their circulation is quietly deteriorating until something serious happens. Before we dive in, I want to give you something real. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 7 foods that have been scientifically studied for their ability to boost blood flow and support male sexual performance naturally. Let me paint a picture for you. Meet Gerald. 63 years old, retired, exercises a few times a week, eats what he thinks is a decent diet. But Gerald has been struggling. His energy crashes by 2 p.m. His wife has noticed he's less engaged in the bedroom. He went to the doctor, got told his numbers were fine, and walked out with a blue pill prescription and a shrug. What Gerald didn't know, what nobody told him, is that his arteries were quietly narrowing. His nitric oxide production had dropped by nearly 50% since his 30s. His blood vessels had become stiff, less flexible, less responsive. The highway that carries oxygen and blood to every organ in his body, including the organs that make him feel like a man, was congested, clogged, and running at half speed. And the kicker? Gerald's diet was making it worse every single day. The processed food, the lack of specific nutrients, the foods he was not eating, all of it was slowly choking his circulation. And this is not a rare story. This is tens of millions of men walking around right now, not understanding why their body is failing them. Here's what the research actually says. Cardiovascular disease, poor endothelial function, and restricted blood flow are the #1 root cause of erectile dysfunction. Not hormones, not psychology, not age. Blood flow. And if you can fix the plumbing, you can fix the performance. That's exactly what these 7 foods are designed to do. Solution. Here's the good news Gerald never got. The same kitchen that was slowly destroying his blood vessels had the power to completely reverse that process if he knew which foods to add. No surgery, no expensive supplements, no awkward pharmacy conversations, just specific targeted food choices backed by clinical research. Let's get into them. I'm counting down from 7 to 1, and number 1 is the one most men are completely overlooking. Food 7, dark chocolate, the nitric oxide trigger. Yes, we're starting with dark chocolate, and no, this is not clickbait. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have demonstrated that flavanol-rich dark chocolate significantly increases nitric oxide production in the endothelium, the thin inner lining of your blood vessels. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your arteries to relax and dilate. It's essentially your body's natural vasodilator. And when it's flowing, blood flows too. A study published in the journal Hypertension found that men who consumed flavanol-rich dark chocolate daily showed measurable improvement in blood vessel flexibility and flow-mediated dilation within 2 weeks. We're talking about a couple of squares of 70% or higher dark chocolate. Not a Snickers bar, real, dark, flavanol-dense chocolate. This is food as medicine working exactly the way it should. Food 6, spinach, the leafy green that unlocks performance. Spinach is loaded with nitrates, and not the bad kind from processed meats. These are natural dietary nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide through a specific enzymatic pathway. The result is wider, more flexible arteries and dramatically improved blood flow to your muscles, and yes, to your sexual organs. Research from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that dietary nitrate from leafy greens like spinach reduced the oxygen cost of exercise and improved vascular function. For a man over 50, that means better stamina, better circulation, and better performance. From a handful of leaves you could add to any smoothie, salad, or egg scramble tomorrow morning. Food 5. Walnuts. The healthy fat that protects arterial walls, walnuts, are one of the few plant foods that contain alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that directly supports arterial wall elasticity and reduces systemic inflammation. Inflamed, stiff arteries are enemy number one for blood flow. Walnuts fight that inflammation at the cellular level. Beyond the omega-3 content, walnuts are also a natural source of L-arginine, the amino acid precursor to nitric oxide synthesis. A daily handful of walnuts has been shown in clinical research to improve endothelial function in men with high cardiovascular risk. These are the people who need it most. And a walnut costs about 12 cents. Eat them daily. Food 4. Pomegranate, the ancient circulation weapon. Pomegranate has been used medicinally for over 3,000 years across multiple cultures, and modern science is finally catching up to why. Pomegranate is extraordinarily rich in punicolagens and punicic acid, antioxidant compounds that protect nitric oxide from being destroyed by free radicals in the bloodstream. Here's why that matters. Nitric oxide has a very short lifespan in the body. Oxidative stress degrades it almost immediately. Pomegranate acts like a protective shield, preserving the nitric oxide your body produces so it can actually do its job. A clinical trial published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that men who drank pomegranate juice daily experienced significant improvements in erectile function scores after just 4 weeks. That is a remarkable result from a single dietary change. Food 3. Garlic, the kitchen staple with vascular power. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, formed when raw garlic is crushed or chopped. Allicin has been shown to stimulate the production of nitric oxide, reduce blood pressure, and improve overall vascular tone. In short, garlic makes your blood vessels work better. Multiple meta-analyses have confirmed that regular garlic consumption leads to clinically meaningful reductions in blood pressure, one of the primary drivers of poor circulation and erectile dysfunction in older men. Aged garlic extract in particular has shown strong evidence for improving endothelial function. This is not folk medicine. This is pharmacology happening in your kitchen. Crush a clove. Let it sit for 10 minutes so the allicin activates. Then eat it or cook with it. Do this every day. Food 2. Blueberries, the vessel-repairing berry. Blueberries are one of the highest sources of anthocyanins, the pigment compounds responsible for their deep blue color and their extraordinary vascular benefits. Anthocyanins directly support the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, by reducing oxidative damage, improving cellular repair, and enhancing arterial flexibility. A landmark study from Harvard School of Public Health, following over 25,000 men over 2 decades, found that men who consumed the highest amounts of anthocyanin-rich foods, especially blueberries and strawberries, had a 14% reduction in erectile dysfunction risk compared to men with the lowest intake. That's a 14% reduction from eating berries. Think about what that means when combined with the other foods on this list. This is a compounding effect. Every one of these foods makes the others more powerful. I want to pause here for a second because if you've been watching this far, you've already learned something that most men your age will never know. The connection between diet, nitric oxide, and blood flow, that knowledge alone could change the trajectory of your health. But we still have the most important food on this list, the one that most men in the blue zones eat consistently, the one that combines multiple blood flow pathways into a single ingredient. Stay with me, because food number 1 is the one that ties everything together. Food 1, beets, the blue zone blood flow king. Beets. If there is one food on this entire list that produces the most dramatic, most rapid, and most well-documented improvement in blood flow, it is the humble beet. Beets contain the highest natural concentration of dietary nitrates of any vegetable. When consumed, these nitrates are converted in your mouth by specific oral bacteria and then converted again in your bloodstream into nitric oxide, causing your arteries to dilate, your blood pressure to drop, and your circulation to surge. Research from the University of Exeter found that drinking concentrated beet juice improved blood flow to the brain by 16% in older adults and dramatically improved exercise tolerance and stamina. Separate research published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics found that beet consumption prior to exercise significantly improved performance and reduced cardiovascular strain. For men dealing with low energy, poor stamina, or reduced sexual performance, this is not a trivial food. This is a clinical intervention in vegetable form. The men living in the blue zones, Sardinia, Okinawa, Ikaria, they don't take blue pills. They eat diets naturally dense in nitrate-rich vegetables, polyphenols, and anti-inflammatory foods. They eat foods that do exactly what this list does. Beets are the crown jewel of that pattern. So let's bring this full circle. Gerald, the man I told you about at the start, eventually changed his diet, not overnight, but methodically. He added these 7 foods into his weekly routine. Within 6 weeks, his blood pressure had dropped to healthy levels. His energy returned. His wife noticed the change before he even told her what he was doing, and for the first time in years, he didn't need that prescription. The plumbing worked again because he fed it the right fuel. Your body is not broken. It is not just aging. It is responding to what you give it. And if you give it the right ingredients, dark chocolate, spinach, walnuts, pomegranate, garlic, blueberries, and beets, it will respond in ways that will genuinely surprise you. Now here's what I want you to do right now. In the comments below, type the word FREE, and I will personally send you our 7-day blood flow reset meal plan. 7 days of structured eating using every food we discussed today, laid out in a simple, easy-to-follow guide you can start tomorrow. It's completely free. Just comment FREE below. And if this video gave you something real, something your doctor hasn't told you, then do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button because I post content like this every single week. Real health education, backed by real science, designed for men who refuse to just accept decline as inevitable. Because it is not inevitable. Not if you know what to eat. I'll see you in the next one.